That's what I'd like for you boys to have next Sunday for your memory verse. You memorize 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. All right. And then for the older boys, I want you to share a time when you was tempted with something and how you overcame that temptation or what you did about it. All right. Your memory verse, sir.
We're supposed to think of a time when we did something behind our parents' back and then revealed ourselves to our parents. And I thought of how one time in Mexico, a friend asked me if I wanted to get some candy at a store that was close by. And I went with him, and then later I told my parents.
One time in Oklahoma, I hid my school, but at first I told my parents that I didn't hide it, but then later I went and told them.
Sometimes when I do my chores, sometimes I don't do my chores, and then I have to tell my parents.
One time I broke a light bulb in the porch and I told my parents.
We had to get someone in the Bible that someone that God tested, and I thought of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego when they were tempted to bow before the idol, then they didn't, and God saved them.
I had a verse here in Deuteronomy 8, verse 2. Now you shall remember the whole way the Lord your God led you in the desert, to deal harshly with you and test you, to know what was in your heart, whether you would keep his commandments or not. So he dealt harshly with you and weakened you with hunger, and then fed you with manna, which your fathers did not know, that he might make you know that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word proceeding out of the mouth of God, man shall live. And I was just thinking about God still this day tests each of us individually in ways that are hardest for us, just to see if we'll stay faithful with him. And that verse that the boys are supposed to memorize next week, the 1 Corinthians, about how God won't ever give anything more than you can take, I just thought that would fit along with that pretty good too.
I thought about Noah. God told him to build the ark. Took a lot of faith for Noah to start to build this ship when he hadn't even seen a rain cloud yet, and God kind of tested him. And Noah just was faithful and did what he was told, and God saved him and his family.
I thought about how Joseph, God tested him to see if he would be faithful enough to take care of, to feed all the people in the famine, and so he got put in prison for not sinning, but he kept faithful and did what was right.
But Randall had God tested Joseph to see if he was the man for the job to save Egypt from the famine, and God saved him and all Egypt through the famine stuff.
God tested Moses when he told Moses to talk to the rock so it would give him water, but Moses just hit it, and so he didn't. I guess that's why he didn't let him go into Canaan.
I thought about when Jesus was out in the desert, and then Satan was tempting him, and I guess God was testing him, and he overcame that, and then he died for us.
Moses got tested so many times, and the children of Israel would grumble to him And this time here, the children of Israel were complaining against Moses for water. They wanted water. They were thirsty. And so Moses cried out to the Lord, saying, "What shall I do with this people? They are almost ready to stone me." So then God told him to go and hit a rock and give them water. He did. And that way, Moses could have just given up and said, "This isn't for me, this is too much for me," but he just kept on. He was faithful.
I had the same thing as Arthur. I thought of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The king was going to have everybody bow down to a golden image of him. They wouldn't, and he said that he would put them into a furnace and burn them, but they still did it anyway. So he tried to, but then God wouldn't let them burn.
I thought about when Jesus was tempted in the desert and Satan came unto him and was trying to get him to bow down to him, and he wouldn't, and God delivered him and helped him stay true.
I thought of Abraham, how God promised him a son, and he waited for a long time before God gave him one, and then God asked him to give him back to him, sacrifice him back to him. And it had been, Abraham could have easily got upset with him, saying how, you promised me the son, and then said my seed's going to be like the sands of the sea. But he just was faithful and was going to do what God asked him to.